All right. Hello. Can everyone hear me?
No. I can hear you, CRM.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So far, we have you guys and another one or two. So what we're going to do is, if you guys have questions, you can feel free to ask them. I think we're not too large of a group that we could hear you here and you can hear us. This is Holly Anderson and Andrew Mahue. We're going to do some net metering filings today to show you how where everything is on there and what information you might need to do so. So the first thing we're going to be doing is a net metering registration. All right, and you'll see down the left now on our frequently used case forms, we have added net metering registration and application. Then if you're doing the larger systems, the net metering petition is under the traditional petition that has been being used for other types of petitions. So as we said, the first one will be a registration. So when you click that, it'll pull up. All right. First thing you'll do is pick this as it shows. It's used for both kinds, the application and registration. So we're going to do a registration. And you'll find a nice, it's kind of like the paper form we have now. It describes everything that you'll need to know to do the form and how things are going to go, what you can file and what you can't file on this page. And I'm going to say what it's used for.
Sure, the registration forms are for all hydro facilities up to and including 500 kW. For ground-mounted solar facilities with a capacity of 15 kW or less, and for roof-mounted solar facilities with a capacity of 500 kW or less. So this is the form that you use for this.
And also to amend an existing NMR CPG, you would use this form as well. And you can only use this form for roof-ground combinations that total 15 kW together. You can't go over that number with combination of ground and roof. That would become the next step up application.
Okay, and then there's a bunch of information here on completing the form, and we just want to emphasize that it's important to read through this. It gives you a lot of information to help you get more familiar with the form and what happens next. So we won't read through that now, but it's important to make sure that you pay attention to this information.
Right, and obviously here, if you're doing an amendment, that's where you would put your existing CPG number, because with the system you will get a new number through this system for the new filing, amending or new filing. And any amendments, it's clear what we want you to let us know in this next box about what you're doing basically. If you're changing the capacity, what the current capacity is and how much you're adding and what will be the new total capacity of the system. That's important information that helps us on this end. Next, pretty self-explanatory. Are you a group or not? And the point with this one too, it used to be you'd send us all your information about your group. Now you just need to make sure that gets sent to your utility, not us. We just need to know if you are a group or not. And this next one is very important. You have to make sure you have made a choice here. Taylor, and we have it defaulting to transfer ownership is what the default will be, but this is very important for people to read over and make sure they make a choice here. And in this next section, it's written out at the top that I want to reiterate that you can either file for an individual where you'll put in last, first, middle name, or an organization. You can't fill out both of these fields. If you'll get an error message and come back and finally read why you're being rejected. Not rejected, just an error. So that's one thing to remember. If it's a business, just the business. If it's an individual, individual's name. And again, anything with red stars, you need to make sure that you have filled out, or again, there'll be an error at the end and it won't file. And address. And utility company, of course, that's very important because the system will also send this directly to your utility upon filing and the department. And any other parties that are other state agencies that are needed to get your registration. And again, there's lots of nice information. If you read each section, that does help clarify a lot of things if you do get confused as to what they're looking for. This next one is important after this. Oops, I'll let you finish. Go ahead. All right. Because depending, as you see, what you choose will give you a new box with information that needs to be included. And again, there's red stars for what is having to be included in the filing.
And in this case, we are doing a 70 kW solar roof-mounted system.
All right. And this is also where, for people who are filing these, a lot of times I know that the installers file it for them as well. So if you can just actually hit no for me on this one, because then it will actually pull up who the installer is on the project if you're not installing your own. And an important thing here is if your installer does not show up when you hit the magnifying glass, like we just did there, up above in the blue, there is click here to add. And it's important to note when you're going to add someone, you'll fill out this entire form, do the CAPTCHA at the bottom, hit proceed, but this does not file your registration. This just adds someone to the database. So you have to remember to go back up at the top and click back to your registration filing, where then after you add that person, it will show up in this box here. So that's something to remember.
And in this case, we'll switch it back to the installer, it's the same as the applicant.
Correct.
So if the project were greater than 139 kW, we would need to attach the A&R fee form. But since we're doing a 70 kW project, we don't need to do this. There's some information here about how to, what to send and what not to send. There we go. And
Pretty much complete filing of a registration. And again, you read over this declaration. It just agrees with the things that you have filed, what's going to happen, and then the math question CAPTCHA, which we hope people are liking better since we have changed that. And you proceed. And we should get, there we go, that our filing has been provided. And then so that will go and there we go. And so you will get an email back that gives you a case number, and
Or you see it on your screen.
You can see it on your screen. But eventually, when you go into that case number, there will be a PDF version of your registration ready for you to see.
And in this case, I just clicked to actually view the case, and right now it's just showing as open and some basic information here that we included.
There it is. Under all other documents, you will find the registration form. And you see that little blue magnifying glass document. If you click on that, you'll actually see up to that arrow. I don't think it opened with the door. All right, you will see it all came together and looks like the traditional paper registration, but at the very top, look up there, you will see the deadline for filing objections would be the, because it's larger than 15, so it would be a 30-day timing on that, and that would be the time that the utility could file. We're not calling them comments. If they want to stop this from, or if they have issues, it would be an objection. So it's very important that the utilities file objections, not comments, into these filings. So that would stop the time on that and give time for whoever had filed it to also file something as well and work out whatever the issue may be. But again, that'll give you your case number and the deadline, so you'll be aware of when, if there's no objections filed as of that date, your registration will be approved. And this is something you can print out so you can have that. And that is pretty much registration. And again, it will show your name as a filer. There's no signatures aren't needed on our system. All right. We'll go back and do applications, which is pretty much the same process with a few other questions. And applications are for ground-mounted photovoltaic systems that are greater than 15, but up to and including 50 kilowatts. And then also facilities using other technologies up to and including 50 kilowatts, but they're never hydro, and also for amendments to existing NM CPGs. So that's what that is now for.
The other thing to note is that there's some information here about notification to the municipal bodies and adjoining landowners. So there's some instructions here to be aware of and to pay attention to once the application is completed.
That actually just reminded me on one thing on registrations. You do not have to file a paper copy of registrations with us, since the system does generate its own form. Applications, which we're doing now, on the other hand, once you electronically file it, you do need to send us one paper copy of your filing at this time. So I want to make sure I missed that.
So this is very similar to the registration, where if there's an existing CPG number, if you were doing an amendment, you would put that reference here and then put the information down here about the what the amendment is intending to do. Here there's also If the land that you're using for the facility is impacted by an existing Act 250 land use permit, you would put that information here. And then this looks similar to the application form where we have a yes or no for the group metering, and also the same question about property owner. Is it the same as the net metering customer or applicant?
But they're all very basic questions that shouldn't be hard. And an advanced filing is needed with this kind of filing now with our new rule, and this would be where you would put in the reference number that you had, a case number you had been assigned when you file your advance notice through ePSC as well.
And that's the 45-day notice.
The 45-day notice. It won't tie them together, but it will at least reference that that was your filing for your, and verify that you had made it.
And that, just to show folks up here, is this form here, advance notice form, that would need to be used if you were filing this type of net metering application. Okay. Going back down again.
Do we need to put something in there right now? Yep. This is our example site.
Again, the transfer or retain ownership. We'll keep this as transfer ownership of the REC, the renewable energy credit. And
again, I believe it's the same as registration, that you can either put in individual name information or an organization name. But remembering that will keep you from having an error at the end.
And that's also why none of these top portions are starred, because this way you would do one or the other, organization name or individual name.
And again, utility company is very important, as this will be pushed to all the state agencies and the utility that need to be made aware of this filing. And do bear in mind, though, even though the system will send it to the state agencies and the utility, you do still need to yourself send the paper copy to your municipal bodies and adjoining landowners or any other groups such as that. The system will not automatically send those.
And in this case, we'll do another photovoltaic system, except we will do it as 50 kW ground mounted.
And now we're on to preferred sites, which
this is important for the new Rule 5.103 that it intends to have applicants or indicate whether there's the facility will be built on a preferred site, and so you'll see there's some options here. And if you do select that it is on a preferred site, you need to attach some information supporting documentation here. So in this case, I'm going to select that it's brownfield site, and then you'll see that there has to be some certification from ANR re-brownfield.
And here, if you had other documentation you wanted to add, you would hit this blue plus, and it would add another section for you to add in more documents as well. Because each document needs to be filed separately.
And here, if there's any of these resources located near the site that are affected by the new facility, you would indicate that here, and you can select more than one by clicking on this area here and adding the boxes.
These are
Distance from nearest residence needs to be provided in feet. Name of each state or municipal highway. And how far it's located.
feet again.
You can add additional. And then the other property boundaries. You would indicate those here. If there is an agreement to have a setback that is less than the statutory minimum, you would click here to add that agreement to your application. And we have a question about screening requirements, whether or not the municipal bylaws or ordinances of the municipality require any screening requirements. If you select yes, there are some questions below that need to be answered. In this case, and some documentation that needs to be attached, and you'll see the stars where they're required. In this case, we'll hit no. And we'll go down here to the own or lease the generation equipment. We'll say own. Is the installer the same as the applicant? And in this case, we'll say no. We have solar installer there.
Or again, you might have to add a person or group. And again, make sure you don't get out as soon as that's in the system. Click back to your application.
Yeah, so I just added if there were going to be a second generation type, this was, you would select it here. And so if you were doing a combined system and you were doing wind and solar, you would select wind here because I already entered up the solar up above. In this case, we're not going to do that, so you can just delete that here. And it is
If you use the minus sign, that will get rid of extra panels that you might not need. And now we're on to the visible and aesthetic impact description.
okay, so in this case, you can either describe it in the panel where you're limited to the number of characters, or you can upload a document, which is what I just selected to do.
Yeah, make sure if you're going to attach a document, you acknowledge in the box like we just did there.
And here, after the 45-day advance notice happens, if the installer or applicant receives any information from the town or from regional commissions or from adjoining landowners regarding their concerns, then if there's a response to the comments that the installer would like to communicate to the board, which is important because it's helpful for the board to know what has happened before the actual filing has happened, meaning the initiation, then you would attach that here. So I've attached document 3, and this is response to comments.
You could put which party to response to GM's comments or whatever.
Yeah. Now this is the requirements for the site plan. There's some very detailed information that's required to be included on the site plan, and if these conditions aren't met, then there will be a delay in the review. So it's important to read through that and make sure that's all designated. There are multiple documents. You can add it here and include 2 different site plans if there are different views. Wetland delineation document. It's important to have here as well.
These are all red starred, so you have
Required.
to.
Statement of consistency with Act 250 land use permit. We did not select that there was an Act 250 land use permit existing, so we do not need to enter this in there. And then this is the list of persons to whom the applicant will mail a copy of this application. And once the board deems this to be administratively complete, which the applicant will receive notification, within 2 business days of receiving that notice, they need to mail a copy of the application, the complete application, in hard copy to all of the persons that are entitled to receive that. So this here is intended to be the list of those persons that are entitled to receive it.
Outside of the filing electronically.
And again, here's some last declaration information, including another reminder about these sending the notice within the 2 business days after it's received. And you also want to be sure that you've filled out all the required fields before you hit proceed.
And then
let's see, we missed something. We have a red notification here, utility name is required. So we'll scroll down and see where we missed that. Gives you that chance to correct a issue. And
we gave it a number and not a name.
yes, must have not actually selected. If you don't actually select it here and make sure that it shows here, then it won't recognize that you've entered the information. I think I might have just looked it up but not actually entered it. Yeah.
Yep, it shows how easy that can happen. And then this will be filed. Once it's filed, there is a
Oh, there's another person with Jane Smith's name, but that's okay. We'll click save to record anyway.
And sometimes if it's got a business name with a different or the same number, or sometimes it'll give you that, tell you the same numbers in there. But if it's all good, do that. There we go. Now it was provided to the board, and they will have 5 days to review it and make sure it's administratively complete. And you will receive an email with a link to a PDF, and on that PDF application copy, it will tell you the comment period ending date.
And my computer, because I'm using a screen, is condensing it, so it looks a little funky here.
It won't look like that for you.
So this is the first one that we entered, the NMR, the registration. If we wanted to go back and look at it, we could view the case here. And then if we scroll down, you'll see the one that we just entered, the NM for the 50 kW. If we go to view case, we'll be taken to the case details, and you'll see that the case is under review up here. Again, it looks a little funky because of my screen.
The documents filed will show.
And we will, once the board has reviewed that, you will receive a notification in the system via email that you should proceed with the notification within 2 business days, and that will be the next step there.
Okay. All right. I think that was,
Should we move on?
that pretty much covered the application. And next would be the larger one.
Do we have any questions so far on the applications or the registrations? They're pretty much using the same screen, just asking different questions. But if there are no questions, then we can just move on to the petition. Okay?
All right. Now the petition, as I said earlier, it's the same kind of basic thing that people have been using to file 248 A's and J's and different petitions out right along. But what you'll do is you will choose a section A10, the net metering. And start issues there for your organization, if there's any pro hoc vice motions. And again, organization, if the filing organization already exists, you will find it in the system. Otherwise, here where it's nice and red and easy to see, that's where you would add your organization again. It'll pull you out to a new window, finish it, proceed, but click back into your petition filing to continue with your petition. And here again, official representative. And once you're added into the system, you should pop up for any future filing, as we see here.
If there were multiple organizations representing the petitioning organization, you could add it here. For instance, if the internal counsel for the utility were also representing, in addition to the law firm, you would put that there. Okay. Is the construction project? Yes. Net metering. Will this project be group net metered? Yes. And here we have the same question that we had before regarding the Act 250 land use permit application. If there was one, then you would enter that in here. We'll enter one in this time. This is an important question. Would you like the board to provide notice of and access to the filing to the state agencies that are required to receive this notice? And you want to select yes so that they receive the electronic version of this. Again, the ownership questions of the REC, the environmental attributes of the renewable energy credits. Related case number, this would be if there were a CPG that existed where you were going to be using this as an amendment or adding to the project, so we'll leave that blank. Project location.
Basically, the town that will be in. And I guess you can do two if it overlaps town.
Oh, here you
yeah. Yeah. There we go. Utility again, important. And we didn't mention when we started this one that the net metering petitions, these are for anything that is greater than 50 kilowatts and are not roof mounted or hydroelectric. So this is going to be used for a lot of filings, feeling anything 51 and over for ground mount. Same kind of questions that the application had about preferred sites, all the distances.
And municipal screening requirements, this was a question that was asked before. If you select yes here, meaning that the municipality that you're building in does include these bylaws for screening requirements, you need to indicate whether or not you're in compliance. And if you select yes, answer the questions below. Same if you select no, and we will attach a file. So in this case, we'll just select no for the screening requirements. But otherwise, if you did select yes, you'd have to attach those documents. If you needed to add another generation type, this is where you would do it if you were doing a combined.
And again, advanced filing, you'd have to have made your advanced filing in our system, which would give you an advanced filing number, which you will then reference here.
And if you start typing AN, then it will bring up the most recent advance notice filing. So you should see yours there. There are multiple subject matters. You have an opportunity to make some, to attach some information, additional information here. In this case, we are just going to stick with it being a net metering petition. Now we'll have to include some testimony and exhibits. So we will select the witness here.
And again, the red wording at the top, a lot of times unless your witness has been used before or it's already checked to see if in the system, if not, you will add. And again, I can't reiterate it enough. It pulls you into a new window.
See, it opened up a new tab here.
And once you are done and you proceed, you'll get a notification that that was filed or sent to us, but that's not, you're not done.
You need to go back to petition. And at this time, no confidential documents can be filed within the system using ePSB. So all of those confidential documents, if there are any, need to be filed in hard copy and sent to all the other parties that are entitled to receive it. So we'll select no there.
And this is a good list to look at, make note of. So when you are sitting down to do your filing, you have all the required documents that you see that they required, that you know you're ready, and you have them ready as PDFs or whatever way you're submitting them into the system, so you're all prepared.
So our first step, we'll enter these documents below, and then it says here, due to the possibly large size of the following documents or the need to include them to different witnesses, there'll be a second step where we will do all of the exhibits. And so first we will enter these documents below, and then we'll do another step where we'll have a different screen where we'll do the other documents.
Oh, hi. This is Tina Abreu from Down Jacques Martin.
Hi, Tina.
I had a quick question.
Sure.
For that list of documents that you just showed us up above, is there a possibility Yeah, is there a listing somewhere on your website that we can actually download that and have that?
Well, you can copy and paste it from here.
What we did was copy and paste it from here, but that's a great idea that we will have that accessible on our site. So that way you would have that in advance of going on.
Yeah,
but
that would
right
be
now.
Really. Okay.
Yeah, because that way you can be prepared. That's the one thing. Because once you get there, it's not the time to wait.
We find that listing really helpful. That's great. Thank you.
Good.
Okay, so we will start with the findings of fact, and we will move on to the CPG. You put the little magnifying glass here. It'll give you the selection of what documents could possibly be. You need to make sure that you attach a document, and each document has a different name.
Okay, so it's important each time to hit if you have more documents, hit that little blue.
List of entities.
There should be pretty much everything in that list, drop-down list, that are the required documents. So you'll find them there.
Now, in this case, we are doing a petition for a 150 kW facility, so we do need to attach the A&R form, the A&RC form. So I'll put that there. And those should be the required documents. We'll see if we get a confirmation when we move on to the next part. If there are any other motions that are associated with the petition, you would put that here. Now, there's a question, select no, to have all your documents been uploaded, if you will be doing a second step, which if there are any pre-filed testimony or exhibits, and we will be having those. So we will say no, and it'll bring us to the second step. And we will click proceed.
Here we see if we attached all our documents or missed any little red stars. Oh, that's because we're using our development site, so that
it's giving us the notice that the advanced notice filing was already linked to a petition, so that has been connected already. So I will select a different. Oh, I can still keep going.
Yeah, this is our, as we said, our development site, so we are using things over again. Also wanted to mention while we were doing that, when you see the little question marks in the circles, those are help boxes, but again, because we are using our development site, they're not in there, but through the portal where you will file, you click those and the help window will open up and it will definitely give you all the information that you're looking for help with.
So the one that we just filed is this one, this 3409. So if we go to view case, we can actually see the net metering petition that we just filed. Now, we did not enter our pre-filed testimony and exhibits yet, so we will go to the add petition second step down here. And this is where we have the list of the required information and documents that are associated with the pre-filed testimony and exhibits that are needed. So the first thing that's required is an affidavit.
Well, as a lot of you know, we were doing a little pilot to test our program, which begins on July 3rd. So this is actually something that is being fixed for the portal where you'll be filing. When you click affidavit, it will not pop up the motion that it's attached to. It will just let you file your affidavit as its own document. So right now, we're just kind of going to move past that.
And move on to the pre-filed directive.
You will not see this. But you do need to, the next is very important, connect what you're filing with your witness, which you would have added during your first step. And other important one is who it's filed by. And you will do all of your information for your one witness in the one step. So it will all file together under your witness.
So we selected exhibit, we attached the document, and this one, the site plan is the first that is required.
And again, anything with the stars, which is pretty much the whole list, you must include.
And it's helpful that the witness that you selected previously is already checked box off here. So for any documents, I'm only entering one, there's only one witness, so all of the documents are associated with that one witness, and that's already selected there. The next thing that's required is the elevation drawings, which is another exhibit. And that's here, elevation drawings. This is exhibit 2. And it's sponsored by the same witnesses. The next thing that's required is the wetland delineation. It's another exhibit. And again, we're just referring back to that list at the top of the document, but we will work on providing that as a separate document on our website to make it easier for folks. So this is the wetland delineation. And there's one more document that's required, which is the response to recommendations of municipalities. Now, we had also included an Act 250 land use permit, so we'll need to attach the statement of consistency, and that will be the last one. Now, this one is only required if you indicate that the land parcel has an Act 250 land use permit. Consistency with Act 250, and this is exhibit number 5.
Okay. And we did one with only one witness. So if you have more than one witness in your case, this is where at the very bottom here, when you said have all your documents been uploaded, you'd still say no because you were going to then proceed from here. These would upload. Then you'd go back into second step again and do it again for your next witness. So you do that each time for each witness that you have. That way they'll all be filed with all their information together. But in this instance, we only put in one witness, so we would just proceed from here. And what that does is once we tell it everything's been uploaded, that is when it will send what you have filed into the system for review by the board. All right, and once this is sent in, you get your it'll show that you filed it. and you should receive an email message with the result of an administrative review that we again have 5 business days from receipt of the petition or the final amount of filing. Once you hit yep, everything's uploaded. We'll have 5 days, and then you will get an email back telling you if it has been administratively complete enough to process. But a note that expiration of the 5 days without receipt of an email does not mean that the petition was complete enough to process. Not until you get an email telling you either way it is not completed. But once you do get one that is complete, you have 2 business days again to provide notice to all other bodies or individuals, landowners that need to get paper notice. If you had clicked yes, then our system will send it to all the state agencies and that need to be made aware of your filing. All right, I think we completed filing all the 3 types of initial filings that can be made. Were there any questions about anything?
Okay, so for folks, is
there a question?
I just had a quick question. Like, sorry, this is Tina Rabideau again. I'm just wondering if, I know like with the last, when ePSB was first initiated, we had a little play area we could go to practice. Is there a possibility to have a little play area on your website to practice with, doing a petition or something like that with a net meter?
Yeah, our test case that we have on our portal, which I believe is 16A9999, that one you can actually practice filing into. That's all we've ever had. We hadn't had one where you could actually make a whole new filing into the system, but that one still exists if you want to practice doing a notice of intervention, motion, any of the other second step filings, anything like that. Not second step, but adding pre-filed testimony, I should say. Second step for initial filing. So we do still have that.
But I mean, so there's nothing that, not net metering specifically? Does it allow us to do practice with net metering specifically?
No, because then it would be adding new cases to our system, which we can't do. So, because that would just, it would be creating fake cases basically. So, so we can only have folks be testing in the sense of adding to an existing case, which is that 169999 that Holly was referring. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. Thanks.
Sure. So we do have a second meeting scheduled for Thursday where we intended to go through and show folks how to make filings in existing cases. I don't know, do the DRM folks plan to sit in on that? Because we could actually cover some of that today.
Or any questions you have about making filings.
About that, yes.
We would plan on sitting in on that, yeah.
Okay.
This is Alan George, also with DRM. I'm paralegal. What we're trying to develop is we're trying to develop a template for each of these filings so that before we go in to file everything, we can have this template completely filled out. And what we're finding is it's hard to be able to get copies of exactly what we're going to be asked under each filing. Is there a simpler way to do that?
I think that basically you would need to just click through. I think that the challenging part is what was the documents. That's pretty easy because you can copy and paste from the screen where it shows you which documents are required as attachments. But then as we were going through, if you select yes to certain questions, you get different responses or different additional questions below it. And so basically you would just need to look at that one screen and click and see what the different options are. We don't have anything at this point that provides that, if you answer yes here, you'll have these additional questions. If you answer no, you won't have these additional questions, you know. We don't have that existing right now, but you should be able to, you know, access that all from the same screen. And then there's just the next screen after you hit proceed there is the second step to add the testimony and the filings. But other than that, the testimony and the exhibits, other than that, everything is contained within the first screen. So even if you're not actually entering in information, you should be able to see what the options are. I don't know, have you guys spent some time looking at that in that way?
Because it is live on the portal. We were just asking people not to file through it unless you were in the pilot. But you can go on there and click through
and
to
just
see what options are.
don't hit proceed.
Yeah, just don't hit proceed.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Just don't file it.
and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Okay.
But like I said, if we could have access to the, you know, you keep on tweaking the required documents, their exact names, and our different choices, like exhibits under pre-file testimony. We're using exhibits. A lot of times we're ending up using other sometimes as well. If we could have those lists, it would be more fair.
Oh, the list of the different document types. And this way, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
And document names, too.
Yep. And this way that when they show up in the system, because there's a short name for them that, you know, is not necessarily that intuitive, but we can make a list of that and definitely put that there. That's a great suggestion. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you know, we've done that in some places in the system and not in others. So if there are pieces of information that you see, you know, that you think would be helpful to add to a different section, you know, feel free to let us know and reach out to Holly or to the system administrator email address, which is psb.epsbsystemadmin@vermont.gov. And I guess this is a good time to note that we will be, as of July 1st, or the first business day, which is July 3rd, the Public Service Board will now be the Public Utilities Commission. So EPSB will be changing to ePUC.
And on our website, our traditional, you know, Public Service Board website, there is information on there with links to new, that the emails are changing for the admin and other changes, the clerk, and things like along those lines. So if you'd like to read about the changes and find out the new addresses for things, those are on our website on the very first page, the home page, about new things happening. But yeah, so we will have ePUC in a week.
Okay, I think that we've pretty much covered everything that we would like to cover for today, and we will plan to Thursday. We have the 1:30 is the timing for the next training session.
All right.
So thank you everyone for attending.
Thank you.